Hello, everybody. This is Brinda Kansara. This is my very first podcast. So, for today, I will only be introducing myself and telling few things about myself. I am fairly new to podcast. I have never been to a podcast or never did anything about it. So, just a disclaimer that this can get pretty awkward and sometimes silent, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. So let's just say that previously I had planned that I will do multiple episodes and multiple ideas of what to explore about myself and what to do about this. Podcasting I've always found it very intriguing, and I think it's a fun way to let yourself out. I mean, and then again, there is another reason that I love to write, but there are some things that I don't want to do, and that is write a diary. For all I know, I cannot maintain a diary. So one way of having myself indulge my own self and have others understand that they are not the only ones to feel this way. I like having a podcast around. I listened to a few podcasts and I thought that this might be a good idea, but then I shoveled it a year ago. But this time I thought that this can be a new way and a new outlet for me to figure out what I want to do and how much do I want to explore. Let me just tell you what kind of a person I am. I am very shy, introvert to be exact, but I am also extremely friendly, which makes it easier for me to make friends. This lockdown that happened, it caused me to close myself even more. So I guess I have a little difficulty to talk to people now, more difficulty than ever. I am also an avid reader. I like to read a lot, but mostly I prefer fiction books because I believe that I already live in a reality. Why do I want to go ahead and have another one? So other than that, I am also a great storyteller and a great writer, a fiction writer, and I guess that's one of the things that caused me to continue my passion for storytelling. I used to tell stories a lot to my nephews when they were very little. They won't even remember now, but it used to be fun. But now I have nobody I can share my stories with, and sometimes there are certain stories I just want to let out, but I hesitate to write. So this can be a way for me to make episodes where I tell you stories as chapters, and I can let out my imagination in front of you. I hope you like it. If you do, definitely support me. this is important for me because it's a way I can get my inner feelings and everything out. And it's mostly fictional, but you get the gist. It's already hard and difficult. Wouldn't want that. So this is it for today. Actually, I don't have much of stuff going on, but if you would like to know more about me or more about the stories I would be giving out, you are feel free to ask. Thank you for listening to a very awkward rant. See you around. Bye. Hello, my name is Brinda Kansara. Welcome to my podcast. And in today's podcast, we are going to start a brand new episode of my brand new story. Like I said earlier in the previous podcast, that I would be narrating stories, my original stories, the stories that I've always wanted people to know, but I had no idea how I can write it down. The story just spurs in my head and I needed an outlet, so I thought this is the best outlet I can ever get. So let us start with the first chapter. I say first chapter, but it might also turn out to be a short story, so don't mind. It starts with a girl. A little girl, not more than 8 years old. She always believed that she belonged to somewhere brighter, nicer, because she was in an orphanage. All her dreams were always about going outside and enjoying what life has to offer. Whenever a child would get adopted and she was always left behind, she thought that somebody had a better plan for her. Somebody wanted her to be there in that very orphanage because that's where she belonged, and that's where she has to start working on her everything. It wasn't long ago. She came across a huge willow tree little farther away from the orphanage. Once she discovered that she wanted to share it with all of her friends. But then she thought that if she did that, what would happen to the tree? They might cut off the tree if somebody found out. They might restrict her to go outside. There were endless possibilities which scared her. She did not know what to do. So she decided that she will keep that little secret to herself. Time flew by, and whenever there was any problems she was facing, she would always go to one place, and that was to that willow tree. Those weeping leaves would touch her face, her hands, and she would feel safe, calm, collected, as if she belonged somewhere. She never stepped out of the orphanage once, because whatever she needed, she found in that tree. It was as if the tree was asking her to stay, not to leave, not ever. She liked it, and she thought this is for the best. And nobody in the orphanage ever suspected about where she went because, well, how much can they even look after? She went by, and so did time. One day she grew up, and it was time for her to leave. Orphanage wanted her out because she was no longer meant to stay there. But if she left, then she might never come back. She might never see what she's seen. She might never feel what she's felt there. She was scared. So, after a long, hard discussion with her guardian, she decided that she would go to that willow tree, stay by that tree, and maybe the next morning she could go away. This can be her last goodbye. When she went there, she saw another child, a new child that came to the orphanage. It was there, and she was observing quietly what the child would do. Will it scratch the bark? Will it pull the leaves? It might just go away and bring more people. Who knows? So she just stood there behind another tree, listening and seeing what the child might do. The child, it played around. It did nothing. Not look at the tree, not tell anybody. It just played there as if it was home. A warm feeling got inside her, and that's when she decided that it is time she moves out. She did. She went back to orphanage and told her guardian that she will move tomorrow, and she also let in a little secret that there was a willow tree right there. The guardian smiled and asked her to sit with her. When she sat down, the guardian offered her some tea. She said it would be a long discussion. She sat down, and then the guardian said, "That willow tree was here years ago. Time when I was an orphan. I used to play with that tree as well. And the only thing I did was never tell anybody. I thought if somebody discovered, they would cut it off, pull their leaves, hurt it. And I was so in love with it, I did not want to leave. And so I decided to come back to this very orphanage and be the guardian to the others and see who can go there. I knew you used to go there because one day I followed you. You were following the same path that I did when I was a child. I saw myself in you, and that is why I wanted you to get out. I wanted you to see that there is life away from that willow tree, away from this orphanage. You can always come back. This will always be home. That tree will always be there. But your life, it won't be there. It won't be the same. You deserve to go out, to meet people, and to see what other things are in store for you. Don't stay behind for just one tree. It is here and it always will be. If it won't be there, it will be in your heart. She understood that the tree was a metaphor, but it was hard for her to understand about what. But nonetheless, she felt that she was being understood. So she packed her bags and left that very night without saying goodbye to the tree. Because she believed that if she ever said goodbye, it would be permanent. Well, this is it for today. I have no idea what kind of story I told you, but I hope you enjoyed. I liked it, and I thought it is really great to have such kind of stories in our lives. Some stories don't need to have a meaning, it just needs to stay there, just needs to be there for us. And I think this story was there for me, you, everybody. Thank you for listening to my podcast, and do wait for the next episode. I'll take your leave now. Bye.